sinasabihan po tayo na ang tao daw pag nagigipit kahit sa patalim, kumakapit. Kaya naman kahit na po sa hirap ng buhay sa Pilipinas, umaasang mga ibang bayan ang ating mga kababayan para po makaahon sa kahirapan. But sometimes when they get here to the States or anywhere around the world, yung buhay po nila nagiging mas mapeligro pa po. Seryoso at maselang usapan ang ating diskusyon ngayong hapon. We are going to talk about human trafficking. And I want you to stay with us because there are victims everywhere. Ating kapamilya, kaibigan, kapitbahay, and you know when an injustice is happening or being done and you can do something about it but you're not doing anything about it, it's the same as being guilty of perpetrating that injustice. And this afternoon on the show we're going to meet some of the victims, and also we've seen her before on the show, Nympha Rueda, the fearless journalist here in Southern California, writer for Philippine Daily Inquirer in the Philippines, also some of the newspapers here in the States as well. Thank you and welcome to Kababayan LA.
Pleasure to be here.
Tony is representing Filipino Migrant Center. Sila po ang kaakibat ng mga nagiging biktima ng human trafficking dito sa Amerika. Thank you so much, Tony, for the work that you do. And joining us via Skype is Ronnie Ligo, Editor-in-Chief of Midweek and Weekend Balita. And I thought of inviting Ronnie, and maybe we can start with Ronnie today, because Ronnie, I know that we discuss Balita issues and news twice a week here on Kababayan LA. And let's start with you. How rampant are cases like this?
Well, I guess for a global perspective, we have 10 million Filipinos working abroad, Of course, most of these workers are in the Middle East, and where, laws are very, very strict, especially for our kababayans na kung saan most of them or some of them are suffering from these strict employers, and not to mention the laws that govern these countries. Ngayon, dito sa Amerika, you mentioned earlier, kahit saan merong mga abuses. In fact, dito rin sa Amerika, there are cases where some of our kababayans have become victims ng itong mga abusive recruiters na kung saan napupunta sila sa iba't ibang employers who are not only, they're not being paid by the right wages, at sila pa ay sinithreaten ng kanilang pag-immigrant visas nila, na pauwiin daw sila, and as a result, they're working under forced labor conditions na kung saan sila po ay hirap na hirap, hindi na ho sila makapagpadala ng pera sa ating mga, sa kanilang mga loved ones sa Pilipinas. And yun na nga, may iba rito, of course, very courageous, and they're reporting these abuses to, of course, the authorities.
All right, when we talk of this, parang napapanood mo sa sine, Parang telenovela, parang teleserye, and sometimes we can't believe na totoo palang nangyayari. But Tony, you are in the middle of that as somebody from FMC. What are some of these cases? What constitutes trafficking ba?
What constitutes trafficking is basically, one is people are defrauded. There is a coercion aspect of it. People are coerced so that they have no other choice but to follow what the traffickers' wills are. And the third is that they are basically transported in the belief that they will be given a new life. But coercion is the most, is the basic characteristic of trafficking. There's a coercion level.
Meaning, ayaw mo, against your will, to be doing what you're doing. Yes, Nympha.
The United Nations definition of trafficking is the transportation of people by force or coercion with the purpose of exploitation. But one will argue, okay, we, the Filipinos, they voluntarily migrate to work abroad, right? But the coercion happens later. So there's the coercion there.
And yun yung sinasabi mo, Ronnie, na minsan tinatago ang passport, tinatakot na this is the domestic servitude usually, or sexual slavery, tinatago ang passport, sabihin pag hindi ka sumunod, ipapadeport kita. And this has happened in some of the cases that you've covered, Ronnie.
Right. The most recent, of course, yung ADMAN 11 na kung tawagin, these are overseas Filipino workers who were supposedly recruited by a Fortune 500 company, Aramark. Alam na natin, napakalaki niyan, However, when they came to, when they arrived in Philadelphia, suddenly they were met by supposedly their contacts, their recruiters, from the Philippines, instead of working in Philadelphia, they were instructed to fly to board a bus going to Biloxi, Mississippi, where another employer, supposedly their correct employer who hired them, working in hotels. However, they were being paid below the federal minimum wage, and they had to meet some quotas to meet that minimum wage rate. Ang nangyayari, one of them went to Los Angeles, sinumbong dito sa authorities dito sa Philippine Consulate at na-cover natin yan.
Alright.
And then the rest came over and they narrated their story.
So, there are prosecutions going on, Nympha, pero bakit kaya patuloy pa rin?
Na nangyayari. Yes, because, okay, in the Philippines, we have the Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003.
Okay.
And the Philippines is actually one of the first countries in Asia to pass this a law against trafficking. So that's good. But the problem is the implementation of the law. And also, it starts in the Philippines. They have to strictly monitor the agencies. And as you know, and I will read to you the Department of State.
You know what? The recruitment agencies, no?
Yes.
Before you read that, and there's a story that Nympha just broke also recently here in LA involving teachers naman. We're going to be discussing that when we return on the show. Don't go away.